current South African road racing scene is a tough environment for professional or aspirant professional riders. The end of last year saw a few big teams fold, resulting in riders looking for opportunities to ride with other teams, on their own, or, in extreme cases, forms of employment outside of the sport. But 4 young men decided to take the plunge and do their own thing in order to continue to chase their passion of high-level racing. Ruan de Ploy, Kent Main, Chris Jooste and Keegan Ruet formed a team they called the Rkc Collective.
Yeah, there's a lot you can say about it, I guess, but essentially it's a cycling team, an elite cycling team in South Africa that's really trying to keep professional cycling in the country alive. It kind of was founded or started from a dream where we all kind of wanted to keep racing. We found ourselves at a crossroad where there weren't many cycling teams left in the country, and it just didn't make sense to us because cycling is growing so massively in a recreational aspect, but there's no real teams or no people giving back to the sport itself. So for us to just stop, it didn't seem right. So we made the team together out of all the passion that we have for cycling and the I don't know, just the love that we want to keep going. We don't want to just hang up the wheels and do what a lot of people do. So that is how it started, yeah.
Ruan de Ploy is a powerful 29-year-old and has spent the best part of 10 years racing both locally and internationally for a variety of teams. In his 4 years with ProTouch, he was a highly valued rouleur and domestique when they raced in Asia and Africa on the UCI stage race scene.
So my main goal in the team would be to, when it comes to flatter races or more like rolling terrain where it suits to my abilities a bit better, is to try be the guy, the man for the day. And then when it comes to like a bit more hilly races or just when I'm having an off day, to be the team player, to be there for the likes of Kent and Chris, and just to try set things up for them, be the domestique of the day. But yeah, luckily for me, most of the races in South Africa is not that hilly, so there's always opportunity. But yeah, I like to see myself as not really necessarily the sprinter in that, but to try also race aggressive because I love racing. I guess that's why I'm still racing my bike, because I'm just enjoying it and love being on the.
In 9 years racing at the highest level as a semi-pro and pro, Chris Jooste has raced for teams in Belgium and Portugal. But the biggest win of the 28-year-old's career came in the 2023 Cape Town Cycle Tour, riding for BMC Tufo, when he showed superb tactical awareness and racecraft in snatching the win from a small breakaway.
I've been riding and racing probably for 15 years, but like riding as in going to races with my parents for 20 years. I remember going to my first Argus or whatever, my dad racing for when I was 8. So career highlights is, yeah, obviously I think lower level racing in Europe, and like I raced in Portugal for a few years, so in a few tours I was able to win a King of the Mountains jersey, and then I think locally based it was probably winning Cape Town Cycle Tour in 2023.
At 25, Keegan Ruet is the youngest of the 4 and has spent 6 years racing mainly on the domestic South African scene. 3 years with Team Cycle Power and 2 with David Maria's DMS squad before joining the Rkc Collective.
So I would say I'm fairly late to cycling. I only started really when I was 17, 18. So I did miss out in the beginning in juniors and that kind of stuff. My dad and my stepmom got me to cycling. One day they just went for a ride and I decided just to jump on board, and I really liked it. So I took it up from there. A few years later started racing and haven't looked back. Definitely the Argus this year is one of the big highlights. Just to be part of it and part of that like raw emotion is really, really cool.
All 4 riders have jobs to support their racing and have product support from brands such as Chiavita and Namid Nutrition.
Yeah, it's very tough. Like, we don't have a massive sponsor. We don't have a title sponsor, financial sponsor. Our name is literally based on our first names of each rider. So it's Ruan, Kent, Keenan, Chris, Rkc. Should be 2 Ks, a lot of people say, but we just go with 1. But yeah, a lot of our partners are actually product sponsors, so we're very fortunate to have Chiavita on board. They've looked after us, I mean, from the get-go, and it's a massive company in the industry, so to have backing from them has been huge. We've got other partners like Met Helmets from a close friend of ours and an ex-teammate who looks after us. Pace Protocol Glasses, a Cape Town-based company. And then Superfood Nutrition, it's a great brand, pretty high-end in terms of their product and nutrition value. And they're doing amazing things for cycling in the country. And then, yeah, we've got smaller but like very key sponsors as well. So Plus Wheels, they've come on board, they're giving us gravel wheels, road wheels, and they really, really do make a difference. I mean, all these things add up, not having to pay for the wheels and stuff. And recently, you know, Garmin has come on board, and Ultra Leisure, which is recovery hyper ice equipment. So we're very fortunate to have all of those partners on board. In terms of finance, we're lucky to have very, very limited private investment. So literally just friends helping us out, and that keeps the lights on, that keeps us racing, that keeps us doing what we're doing. But it is difficult. All four of us have jobs outside of this. So we're doing our training early mornings. I mean, we're up at 4:30 every day riding our bikes. We're not living the pro dream, you know, that people think we are. And I think there's a big gap as well. A lot of cyclists in South Africa think that, you know, you're a professional athlete, you need to go do all these hours, but it doesn't actually need to be like that. You can still do things in both ways.
With more funding, Kent, Ruan, Keegan and Chris would like to use their extensive racing experience to help develop and groom young riders who seek a future in the sport.
I've been cycling now for probably 10 years at a competitive level. I see myself as one of the older guys in the bunch, which is scary because I mean I'm not that old, I'm 28. But when I started cycling, there were a good number of teams racing, and those teams were well sponsored by big corporate companies. Nowadays, there's none of that. I don't think there's one corporate company involved in sponsoring a cycling team. The numbers at races are dwindling fast, and frankly, out of the guys racing, you can tell at the start line which guys will be in the top 10. You can just see who's racing, and you know who the strong guys are. So there seems to be an issue where there's no growth, there's no young talent coming through, and the talent that does come through doesn't have anywhere to go. So the numbers are just not targeted at professional cycling. It's all recreational based. I think COVID played a role in that as well. You know, it was a tough time for everyone. So we've got a long way to go to get things back to where they were. And I think even prior to my start in cycling, things were even booming even more. So we have to change something. The first goal was to find something for ourselves and to make sure that we could still cycle. And now that we've gotten like a bit of a groundwork done and we've done the foundations, we're looking at growing the team and trying to give back to cycling in any way that we can. So we're trying to support cycling in general, and we're trying to make the jump between community cycling, recreational cyclists and elite level riders, and make it a much smaller kind of difference. So we're doing a lot of community rides with guys from the Chia Vita store here in Broadacres. We're making good relationships with our partners that are sponsoring us and helping us on this journey. And I think our next step now is to try and get younger guys involved in our team. We've got a goal to try and get 2 younger guys on the team, hopefully by the end of this year, early next year. And in that way, we can kind of give back to cycling and give talented young cyclists kind of an avenue forward to make sure that they're not just going to stop because there's nowhere to go. I find the 4 of us have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge to give to young riders and to guide them on the right track. And I think from what we're doing, we can really make a difference from that.
The vibe in the team, it's really great, I'll be honest. It's probably the nicest vibe I've been in the team. We're all constantly chirping, constantly joking. I would not say there's one joker that stands out. There's always chirps and always jokes going around. And if you think you're having a bad day, you're just gonna hear it all day long. So it's like we keep each other on our toes. We're honest with each other. And I really think that's what helps us with our success so far during the year. It's just because we love racing our bikes, we want to have fun, and we are having fun. And I think the balance of that is helping. It's because we're there for one another, we are friends. We are friends on and off the bike. We go for a beer, we go play a round of golf, and I think that really helps us.
Yeah, I think I'm the funny guy. I would definitely say I'm the pacer and the one who does all the hard work in the beginning of the races, the nitty-gritty stuff before we get to the end and the guys finish it off.
In a dreamlike start to the team's existence, Maine secured the most prestigious race win on the local calendar with an audacious victory in the Cape Town Cycle Tour in March, as he escaped a small breakaway group over the last few kilometres and soloed to a memorable victory in Cape Town.
Obviously, you go to every race with the objective of winning the race. Cape Town Cycle Tour is no different. we believe we can win, but the chances, to be honest, were slim. I mean, it was a stacked field. It's not a race that personally I can normally win on 9 days out of 10. Things really worked out in our favor. I was on a good day. I caused a bit of hesitation in the final moment there, and yeah, managed to get that gap, and I couldn't quite believe it, to be honest. I think it's something I've got goosebumps now thinking about it. Just the relief of like, you're putting in all this hard work behind the scenes, building a team, working with your mates to keep cycling alive in general, and now you go and win the biggest race in the country. It was amazing. So yeah, lost for words.
The Rkc Collective Quartet train in the early hours of the morning before heading to work. They also organise regular community rides from the Chivita store in Broadacres, north of Johannesburg. Their connection to the Gauteng cycling community extends to gravel rides on Fridays.
We're doing a lot of gravel racing as well, so we don't want to just focus purely on road. Unfortunately, as we've discussed, road cycling's gone a bit stagnant, and winter it normally dies off a bit. So luckily gravel cycling's picked up, and there seems to be a huge amount of interest in South Africa and globally.
Gravel biking is definitely taken off in South Africa. It's massive now. It's a lot more different than road cycling. It's more scenic, a little bit more enjoyable. You can kind of go anywhere with your gravel bike while still being on the road. The graveling is really cool. It's much different. The training is so much harder. Just longer hours, I would say. It's less intensity, but longer periods of training.
Their initiative is bold and brave in these tough economic times for the sport of road cycling. The hope is that through their racing performances and connections within the broader cycling community, they will attract a big-time sponsor.
I think, to be honest, when I started this, you think, you're going to find sponsors, you're going to get money, you're going to make things work, and it hasn't really happened as easily as you think it will. But then again, at the same time, I look at this journey and we're 5 months into the year, we're 5 months of this team, and we've won the biggest race in the country. We've got amazing brands supporting us. We've got such amazing feedback from the community and from cyclists all around. Everyone knows us, and I think it's because we're approachable guys. We're going to have a beer with you after the race. We're going to ask you about your event. It's not like we just live in this professional life. We're in a bubble. We're interactive. So I think looking forward, we're going to hopefully make a change in cycling. We're going to be around for a while, whether that's just Rkc Collective or that's Rkc Collective powered by some big company, and we will make a change. We will get those big sponsors, and we will keep doing what we're doing as long as we can. You can come join us for one of our rides. We do lots of rides from the Chivita store here in Broadacres. We've got a WhatsApp group that we have, I think, over 200 people on there that we advertise everything in our team, in our dream. So yeah, anyway, bump into us on the road and take us for a coffee, or we take you for a coffee and we can chat.